The Wings were playing the Sun last night, so one of them was destined to get their first win of the season, and it was the Dallas Wings, who won 109-87. Finally, Paige Bueckers gets her first career win, and she led the Wings with 21 points on 8 of 10 shooting. She also had 7 assists and 5 rebounds. She is now the first player in WNBA history to have 60 points and 30 assists through her first 5 games of her career. She is also the first rookie since 2005 to have a 25-5 game while shooting 80% from the field. Tamika Johnson was the last to do it back in 2005. You want to know what the perfect cure is for not having your first win of the season? Playing the Connecticut Sun. Things were coming easy for Paige Bueckers. They were coming easier for Arike, who had 19 points on 5 of 14 shooting. Dejanay Carrington had a nice game with 16 points. Just a really efficient shooting night overall for the Dallas Wings. They shot 56% from the field as a team. They shot 50% from 3. A part of that, they're having an on night. They were getting to their shots. Another part of that, the Sun defense is a giant black hole, and you can do a lot with that opportunity. It was Paige Bueckers' first game back in Connecticut. Obviously, she played at UConn, so being back in front of a lot of people who came out to support her, being back in Connecticut, a cool place for that win to come. But it was indicative of how nice it is to have that on a schedule when you are starting this process. And we've talked a lot about the Wings being in a position of like a true rebuild mode. And you get the number 1 pick in Paige Bueckers, and she's expected to be, a generational talent who can be the franchise player for your team. But that's going to come with a lot of lumps along the way, especially in this first season. People seem to forget the Fever started, was it 1-10 last season? And then finally we're able to turn it on. Granted, there was an Olympic break in there, a significant period for Caitlin Clark to go into the chamber and come back out and kind of emerge a different version of herself, and that team to emerge differently in the latter part of the season. It'll be interesting for the Dallas Wings, but at least last night was a small look at a more promising future ahead for them.
She's the face over there now?
Yes.
Okay. That hands
down.
All right. I still roll with Arike, and I'm not trying to pit women against women or whatever. But it would seem to me that she would be the Robin to Arike's Batman, right? You could use her to facilitate. You use her to set people up. You use her because she's a tremendous defender. She can also score the ball. But I would think that Arike would still be your offensive catalyst.
I think the more the ball is in Paige Bueckers' hands, the better. And Paige Bueckers as a facilitator is probably the most comfortable place for Paige to be. And you hope that she and Arike are able to kind of sift into a 2-woman game that's really efficient. And Arike has to learn how to play differently with Paige. It doesn't have to be so hard. You can take the easiness that comes with an offense that's designated by Paige. We don't always have to jump to the Batman and Robin. I know it's like the easiest thing in the world. So even though you always want to, just naturally how we look at tandems, there's somebody who has more power and then there's like a sidekicky role. But when you have a player like Paige who really can do it all, and on both sides of the court, I think the leadership, the persona, just the everything factor, the it factor comes out in someone like Paige Bueckers, even if in a perfect universe, perhaps she is not the leading scorer every night for the Wings, although she has shown that she has the capability of doing that too.
Yeah, and that's something that team has desperately needed since they got Arike. They've tried a whole lot of different pieces, a whole lot of different combinations, especially on the perimeter. Gray is the last one that I can think of that they had. Was like, okay, there's something here that could work. And then did they trade her to the Dream, or did she leave in free agent? Either way it goes, she ends up going to the Dream. It's like, and then they kind of spiral into the abyss after that. I just think that with the veteran leadership that Arike has, she's somebody who is respected in the league. She is one of the best scorers on the perimeter in the W. I just think that you could use Paige to be more of the facilitator, take some of that pressure off of Arike, but like, you need buckets. The ball needs to be in Arike's hands, not in Paige's. And that's why there's the Batman-Robin comparison. Yeah. And that we always go to that in basketball because it's only one ball and it's 5 players. Game on the line. Somebody's got to be able to seize it and take control of that. Until she can do so, I think that it's Arike's team, and then Paige, once she figures it out, they can pass the torch, do it however you want to. It's a great issue to have if you're winning.
Right.
Look at the Storm.
It's a
right?
one win against the Sun. Let's
With
chill.
the Seattle Storm, when you had Sue Bird and you had why am I blanking on Stewie?
Yeah.
Breanna Stewart. You had them. It's like, oh, that's Birds, and then Stewie comes through. It's like, oh no,
Right.
this is different. You might want to run stuff through her, and then the two of them worked graciously together, and that's what you'll need if you're gonna make it in this league.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m.